Is there an event, not basketball, that you think you could compete in?
I think maybe like the long jump. I think I could do the long jump, maybe or the high jump. Yeah, I'm an only podium guy.
Okay, talk your talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you really think LeBron James even compares to Olympic jumpers, let alone could medal at an Olympic Games? Honestly, probably in his prime if he trained like an Olympian for a few years.
If you give me some time, I need about 6 months.
Okay, now that's delusional. But how delusional is he really? Because in 2006, a 21-year-old small-time Division I college basketballer did exactly this. This is the story of the fairy tale rise of Donald Thomas. Donald's original dream was to be in the NBA. He played basketball at a high level through high school, idolized Michael Jordan, wore his shoes, and managed to earn himself a scholarship to a small D1 basketball program at Lindenwood University. He was even pretty good, averaging 16 points and 7 rebounds per game as a sophomore, leading his team to a 26-10 record in the Ohio Valley Conference. A very far cry from what they're doing today. But Donald's talents clearly lay in his athletic abilities, crushing dunks over people, jumping out from near the free throw line, and this would catch the curious eye of the track team's high jumper, who would offer him a challenge that no doubt he probably still tells people about to this day.
And we were on the basketball court and he saw me dunking and playing basketball. He said, I jump high and I play basketball real good, but he don't think I could clear 6'6" in the high jump. And I took him up on his challenge. I cleared 6'6", 6'8", and 7 feet on my first attempts and I stopped.
He cleared 7 foot on his third ever jump in basketball shoes. And if you can't take him at his word, you don't need to, because 2 days later, Donald entered his first ever track meet, but this time he wouldn't only jump a measly 7 foot, he'd get over 2.22 meters. His first ever track meet, in his trademark basketball shoes. And the clearance indicated clear as day, there was more to come. He also won by 18 centimeters. And that was it, Donald was sold. From this point on, he'd focus his power on the high jump, and with that came instant success. Within just the first few weeks, a slew of 7 foot jumps, 214, 216, 218, and you know, just an invite to the Commonwealth Games. 2 months and 1 day worth of experience, he was headed to his first global championship, and he'd cause an absolute stir. No marked run-up, basketball shoes on, he was legitimately able to challenge some of the world's finest, clearing a new personal best of 223 for an incredible 4th place finish. The ridiculousness of this result cannot be emphasized enough. He'd been jumping for 2 months, completely raw dogged this run up, landed arms outstretched behind him, risking dislocation, and did it all in Nike Shox, a basketball shoe from the year 2000 that is now purely a nostalgic fashion statement because of how bad they are to do anything athletic in them. So over the coming months, he would wrap up his debut 2006 season, improving his best to 224 at a small hometown meet, and even taking home his first medal, yoinking a silver at the Under-23 North American Athletic Championships. But overall, the curtain would close on one of the greatest first seasons in high jumping ever. Now, onto undeniably the greatest second season of track and field ever. 1 year on the dot from his very first jump, he opens his season jumping over 2 meters 30, the auto qualifier for that year's World Championship. Another month goes by, he's now representing Auburn University on a full ride scholarship, working with the same coach who mentored Charles Austin to an Olympic gold and American record. He'd leaped 233, winning the indoor NCAA championship title in a convincing 8 centimeters.
Thomas jumps that same height cleanly, no misses in the competition.
Another 30 days, another personal best, but this time also jumping the world lead. 234 with some of the cleanest footage we get out of this pixelated era, finally giving us some answers to his success. Over the off-season, his approach has been refined, now coming in with some consistent steps. And if you look at the shoes, he's gone from early 2000 Nike Shox to pole vault spikes. If you've ever wondered how important the approach and semi-correct shoes are, it's about 10 centimeters. Although come June, he would take his first beating at the NCAA Outdoor Champs, placing 3rd with a 229 jump, which you truthfully can't even say is a bad result, but it does prove sometimes that talent isn't always enough. I'm kidding, this is fucking Donald Thomas we're talking about, because as the NCAA season ends, he tests the waters internationally. In first meet, he'd improve his personal best for the 4th time this year and set his 2nd outdoor world lead, 2.35 meters. Clearly, Donald was progressing like nothing we've ever seen before. Only 1 year and 6 months from that challenge that simply got him intrigued in the sport, he had placed 4th at a global championship, won an NCAA title, and jumped 2 official world-leading marks. There were no more questions about his legitimacy as a jumper. Only, can he handle the pressure? And we'd get our answer far sooner than expected. Entering the 2007 World Athletic Championships. Now 1 year and 7 months since his very first time jumping, he was standing amidst the world's best at his first major global championship, but not as prey, as a legitimate contender. 4 jumpers would set the pace early, with Rybakov, Holm, Janku and Moya garnering clean clearances over every height from 221 to 230, while in the background, trailing behind, was Donald Thomas, needing second attempts for 221 and 226, setting himself at an early disadvantage, but more importantly, keeping himself in the competition. But 233, that's where the competition really starts moving. Stefan Holm, the world's very own shortest high jumper, leads the charge. 233 first attempt, air between him and the bar.
And he sails over that bar at 233.
Russia's Rybakov follows suit, loping in, using every bit of his height to barely scrape over it. And Ciprasiano imitates Rybakov, loping over it on his second attempt for a national record. While our very own main character, Donald Thomas, walking the talk, utilizes the crowd like a pro, just for an agonizingly close miss on his second attempt. Frustration and nerves evident across his face. This is where years of experience is crucial. If you're a normal athlete, that is. At this point in the story, you know this guy was born with it. Inexperienced as he may be, he finds his focus. And final attempt on the world's biggest stage.
33. And he goes clear. What a clearance for Donald Thomas. The man from the sport of basketball.
He tickles the bar in place, barely keeping himself alive. Without time to breathe, the height moves to 235. 4 men left. Medals would be decided here. Holm, the leader, is the first to go, but unable to capitalize, taking off further than usual and not getting the height needed.
His own head height. Oh, just brushes it so close.
Russia's Rybakov fails as well, breaking form a little early at the top and taking the bar down with him. So unbelievably, against all odds, the newbie Donald Thomas, who was playing small-time NCAA basketball less than 2 years ago, is left with the opportunity of a lifetime. If he clears this jump, he takes the lead for the very first time this competition at his very first global championship.
Silver medalist in the Pan American Games early this year, and he goes clear! Donald Thomas goes clear at 2 meters 35, the man that started high jump only 2 years ago.
And that was it. That jump won him gold. Rybakov and Iano both ended up clearing 235, leaving Holm in 4th, but on second attempts. So while all 3 men were left unable to get over 237, Donald Thomas pockets a World Championship gold medal out of the hands of the world's finest less than 2 years from his very first high jump. And the media headlines ran with it. Even the legendary Javier Sotomayor chimed in, sharing his opinion on Donald's talents, directly quoted saying, "You're the guy that can break my record. You have some special ability. I can see it happening, and sooner than you think." But that wouldn't be the case. Not even close. Because while he had a fairy tale rise to the top, tasting the finest successes the sport has to offer, he would spend the next 2 decades of his career making up for all the failures, losses, and frustrations he missed out on. Because besides winning the IAAF World Athletics final the very next month, he would never medal at a World Championships or an Olympics again, and not even see another personal best for 9 years. Going out at the qualifiers of the 2008 Olympics, 2009 Outdoor World Champs, and 2010 World Indoors. Honestly, just becoming a filler competitor at 90% of high jump competitions. But yeah, he got some minor medals along the way, most notably winning the 2010 Commonwealth Games, and jumping 237 for a new personal best in 2016, 10 years after his very first jump.
És itt a 237 centi, az igen, új egyéni csúcs.
But there is something to be said. Donald Thomas has been able to do something no other jumper has ever replicated before or after him. And that's the longevity of his career. His season debut was 2006, age 21. By 2007 he was a world champion. And in 2024, he was still competing aged 40. And at a high level at that. He even qualified for the Paris Olympic Games. Ironically, going out in the qualifiers again, this time due to injury. making it 4 out of 5 Olympics he's gone out before the finals. But dude has been competing longer than some of you watching have been alive, and all because of a silly bet.
And I took him up on his challenge. I cleared 6'6", 6'8", and 7 feet on my first attempts, and I stopped.
So to answer the original question, could LeBron James medal at the Olympics in the high or long jump with 6 months of practice? Fuck no. But if he gave up basketball at 20 and gave it a couple years, yeah, maybe I could see it. Like weird track and field videos? Subscribe, there's always more to come. And if you really like them, maybe support the channel. Thanks for watching, see you next time.